Why does the zip code of a child's birthplace often dictate the quality of education they receive? It's a question that's been haunting our society for far too long. Picture this. Two children, both eager to learn, yet their paths diverge dramatically due to the invisible lines drawn by socio-economic disparities. One child is born into a neighborhood blessed with well-funded schools where resources are abundant and opportunities seem limitless. The other child, however, is born into a community where schools are chronically underfunded, resources are scarce, and opportunities are few and far between. This stark contrast is not a coincidence. It's a systemic issue. When it is said that education is not a privilege, it is a basic human right, then why the society is facing this discrimination, especially the poor? Our education system, unfortunately, perpetuates this divide, creating an uneven playing field and denying countless children access to quality education. The resources and opportunities that should be universally available are disproportionately distributed, favoring the rich and leaving the poor behind. This is not just a disparity, it's discrimination, deeply embedded in our education system. Have you ever considered who profits from this educational divide? Let's delve into an illustrative case study. Picture a bustling city teeming with life, ambition, and a stark contrast in wealth. Here, the education industry is a thriving business, dominated by the affluent. This industry, while it should be a beacon of hope and opportunity, has become a well-oiled machine for wealth generation at the cost of true learning. The wealthy set up high-end schools with exorbitant fees, ensuring exclusivity. This exclusivity creates a demand which is met with an ever-increasing supply of similar schools. The profits are immense, the stakes are high, and the business thrives. But what about those who cannot afford such education? The children from less privileged backgrounds are left with underfunded, overcrowded schools. Teachers are underpaid, resources are scarce, and the quality of education suffers. This isn't because there isn't enough money in education. Rather, it's because the wealth is concentrated at the top, feeding the money-making machine while undermining the essence of education. Education should be a means to even out the playing field, to provide every child with equal opportunities. But in this scenario, it only widens the chasm between the haves and the have-nots. The pursuit of profit has led to a compromise in the quality of education, a compromise the less fortunate pay the price for. While the rich get richer, the poor are systematically deprived of their right to quality education. But where are the elites in all of this? Those who have the power and resources to make a difference? One might ask this question, and it's indeed a valid one. The wealthy elites, those comfortably nestled in ivory towers, have the means to bridge this educational divide, yet their actions, or rather lack thereof, paint a bleak picture. Their silence is not just an absence of voice, it's a resonating echo of indifference. It's an unspoken acceptance of the status quo and a refusal to take responsibility. Their inaction, whether deliberate or born out of ignorance, only fuels their fire of inequality. It perpetuates a system where access to quality education remains a privilege, not a right. These elites, with their abundance of resources, could be the catalyst for change. They could disrupt the cycle, yet they choose to remain silent. Their silence is not neutrality, it's complicity. The silence of the elites is a deafening endorsement of this unjust system. So, where does this leave us, and what can we do about it? The situation is dire, but not insurmountable. Each of us holds within our grasp the power to effect change, to challenge the existing narrative, and to reshape the landscape of educational equality. This isn't merely about pointing fingers at the money-making mafia or the silent elites. It's about realizing that we too can play a pivotal role in this story. How, you ask? It begins with awareness. Understand the gravity of the issue. Recognize that educational inequality isn't just someone else's problem, it's everyone's problem, it's our problem. Next, use your influence, however small it may seem. Advocate for policy changes that promote equal access to education. Demand that the educational system be held accountable for its failings and be reformed to serve all students, not just those with deep pockets. Support organizations that are actively working to bridge the educational gap. These groups are on the front lines, striving to make quality education accessible to all, regardless of socio-economic status. Your support, whether financial or otherwise, can go a long way. Lastly, volunteer your time and skills. Mentor a child, tutor a student, share your knowledge and experience. every bit helps in the fight against educational inequality. The fight against educational inequality begins with you. Do not let the future generations be victimized by this systemic injustice. Stand up, speak out, make a difference.